Hey!
Someone asked, do y'all teach underwater welding?
Do we teach underwater welding? No, we do not specialize in underwater welding. There's actually a school down in Texas that does that. We just teach you how to learn to weld. You gotta know how to weld before you go to underwater welding. It's pretty difficult. I don't know if you guys have tried it. I haven't gotten to, but I know it's really difficult because you have all the bubbles bubbling up in front of you. So if you want to learn, come see us. Then you can go to the underwater welding school. What else?
Do we have a rate my weld?
We do.
Alrighty, let's see it.
All right.
This is from, and I'm sorry if I butcher your name, Andrew Burkhardt.
Andrew Burkhardt, what we got here?
Got this.
Oh, nice. Looks like we're doing a little TIG welding. Looks like we're welding a plate, piece of pipe. I would give that weld. That's a pretty nice looking weld. Got some good color. Could be maybe a little more consistent with the ripples on the weld, but overall I give that a 9. That's a really good weld. Good job.
Joe Dirt Jr. asked, do you support housing for people coming from out of state?
Joe Dirt Jr. I like it. We do not do housing for people out of state. We do help you guys try to find somebody. We have a lot of people that we work with to help find housing for all the students that come here, Western Welding Academy.
Josh Gonzalez on YouTube said, why don't y'all open an academy in Houston, Texas? We need better schools here.
You need better schools in Houston, Texas, huh? Well, we're based here in Wyoming. We like Wyoming. It's pretty, it's a little cold right now, but there's a lot of schools down in Houston, Texas area. So if you want to come to the best, though, come to Wyoming.
Mud Outlaw asks, what type of welding makes the most money?
What type of welding makes the most money? You can make really good money doing about any kind of welding. It kind of varies on where you're at in the country and what's being called for, but I made most of my money traveling the country, working in power plants and refineries, and that's just what I really enjoyed. But you can make really good money in about any type of welding you want to do.
Wade Outdoors said, what is the best welder for beginners?
The best welder for beginners. Well, I guess to start off is one that welds. But for beginners, depending on the price range that you can afford, you can go buy a cheap yes welder. They'll get you by. But if you got money, you can buy you a nice Lincoln or Miller that's going to last you a long time. But you can get away with a cheap one also.
Kane Morgan said, can you bring your own tools to WWA?
Yeah, a lot of guys, I mean, we have, there's like 4 rig trucks sitting on the parking lot like right now, a bunch of guys tooling up. You can bring your own tools, but we're still going to provide you with the tools that we give out. You'll still get those too, so.
Bo_165 asks, do we get to pick which shift when we come to WWA?
Do you get to pick which shift? Right now, you can get a preference, but you don't really get to pick your shift due to the booth availability that we have. It's getting pretty limited, so our spots are kind of, you get which shift you get if you want it.
How long are we going live tonight?
We are going 30 minutes tonight, right?
Yes, correct.
Gotta rate my weld here. This is from
Another
Chris
Rate My
Lee.
Weld, huh?
Yeah, this is from Chris Lee.
Chris Lee?
Yeah,
The Chris Lee that went to Western Welding Academy?
I do believe so.
Chris, it's not looking too bad. Doing a little 6G. Oh, looks like stainless. To see it purged. Got beautiful color on your hot pass. Chris, I would give that sucker there about a 9.5 on the hot pass.
Nice. He also said to tell you that he loves you. So.
Love you too, Chris.
Mockingbird Welding wants to know how long is the course if you already know how to weld?
How long is the course if you already know how to weld? I guess that depends on what you know how to weld already. If you know how to do some stick, like you've done a bunch of structural, you can actually test out of the phases. You don't have to take the whole thing. But say you come into Welder 2 where we start stick pipe and you want to test out a structural, you actually have to take the test of Welder 1 to be able to go into Welder 2. We got to make sure you're right there with the rest of the guys that take the whole course.
Yvonne Despain, sorry if I butchered that, on YouTube says, I am a senior in high school coming up there in August. I already have 3 years of welding experience in high school, did pipe for the past year and a half, and did 6G competitions. Can I test in?
Could you test in? Yeah, you could probably come up here and test in. We just have to see your skills and evaluate where you're at. I know we're definitely a step up from high schools. I know there are some great high schools and instructors out there that get you guys a little bit further than most, but we'll take you to the next step.
Someone asked, do students have a job while going to the school?
Students have a job while going to school. Some students do, some actually have to work while they're here. It just depends on each student. But there are a lot of companies around here that hire students to work while they're still going here. I mean, just your basic ones. I mean, if you're looking for a welding job, a lot of these welding jobs around companies around here, they want somebody there for 10 hours a day. So that's pretty hard to do that and still go to school for 8 hours a day.
Someone asked, what are the start dates for the main class?
Start dates for the main class, we start new students weekly. So it's whenever you get signed up, approved, get everything ready, and get your booth hold payments in, and get your start date.
Benjamin on YouTube says, is there housing near WWA?
Is there housing near WWA? Yeah, there's housing all over Gillette. Gillette really isn't that big of a town. I mean, it's 30,000 people, but it's still pretty small. But there's some guys staying as close as a quarter mile away. So they have an apartment complex just up the hill.
I gotta rip my weld here.
Bo Barkley says, Nate, how you looking so gosh dang good?
Bo! How you doing? It's all because of you, man.
Gotta rate my weld right here from Joseph Carr.
Joseph Carr, what you got here, Joseph? Looks like Joseph is doing some TIG beads on plate. I don't know what position. Joseph, you're doing pretty good. We could work on the overlap a little bit. But other than that, you're pretty straight. Steps are pretty nice. I would give you an 8.5 for beads on plate. Yeah. A lot of pretty nice welds today.
Someone asked, how long is the process to become certified?
How long is the process to become certified? Depends on how good of a welder you are or how fast you learn, I guess. But our course is 6 months long, 24 weeks.
Or 6 weeks, right?
Huh?
Like if you choose like just one of them, it's 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, if you just want to get your structural program or you get your structural cert and just become a structural welder, then you just have to do Welder 1, which is 6 weeks.
Jacob Valley 1 said, I have about 4 months of welding experience. Is there a minimum experience level you have to have?
Minimum experience you have to have. To come here, no. We have several people that come here. They have 0 experience, never even held a stinger in their hand, and they come out becoming really good welders. So you do not have to have any experience.
Hudson Cook on YouTube said, what is your favorite welding tip?
Hudson, my favorite welding tip is always be comfortable. That ABC, that is a very important one. And that's the first one I always look at when guys are trying to weld is just relax and be comfortable. When you start stressing, you get real tense and you just get real jerky and you can't weld very good. So ABC, always be comfortable.
Do we got another Rate My Weld?
We do. This one is from Dusty Welds.
Dusty Welds.
Dusty Welds.
Dusty. It's like we're doing some, oh, we got a play button. It's like we're welding some fittings on the ends of some braided hose. Dusty, that's looking pretty good. The sides are cut a little bit. If you add a little bit more filler wire to each one of those puddles, it would fill in that and get rid of that undercut on the bottom side. So really pretty well, but just for your undercut, I'm going to give you an 8 out of 10.
Nice job, Dusty.
Someone asked, what welding machine should I get as my first one?
What welding machine you should get as your first one? If you're just looking for an electric machine, just find you a nice used machine. But if you're looking for a engine drive machine so you can be portable, the old Lincoln SA200s, you can't really beat them guys. They're pretty reliable.
I got one from Arlo Edwards on YouTube. I am looking into getting a stick welder. What should I buy?
Looking into getting a stick welder. Well, about every machine out there will do stick welding. Just find one that's affordable and in your price range that you can afford. On just stick welding, I really wouldn't say a brand preference.
And then I got one from Nolan B on YouTube. He said, I am a sophomore in high school. When should I apply?
Nolan, you can apply anytime. It's just, you can apply now. You just won't be able to start till you're 18 and finish school, or 17 and a half after you finish school, or 18.
We had someone ask, how do you apply to go to the school?
How do you apply to go to school? Well, you can go to westernweldingacademy.com and get on there, hit the apply today, start the process.
You can go to applytoweld.com.
Or applytoweld.com. Awesome.
I got a Rate My Weld here. This one's from, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, Joey Crusoe, I think.
Joey
Not
Crusoe.
entirely sure. Sorry if I butchered it. He's looking for advice and a rate.
Advice. Looks like we're doing some more TIG welding on some pipe. Looks to be a 5G position. So it's a really nice looking weld coming outside. It gets a little inconsistent towards the top. I would say be a little more relaxed when you're rolling in and out of them sides on that puddle, and that will help smooth them edges up. But overall, I'm gonna give you, well, that's about an 8.5 also. That's a nice looking weld.
So we had someone ask, do you have to start at welder 1?
Do you have to start at welder 1? No, if you've had welding experience, like saying a little bit ago, you can come in, you can test out of whatever your experience is in, and get the rest of the knowledge that is needed.
Someone asked, do you need a high school diploma to apply?
Do you need a high school diploma to apply? If I'm 18, yes, but if you're over 18, no, you do not.
Someone asked, where's the work at pipe welders? Where can you find work?
Where can you find work for pipe welders? Right now, things are going pretty crazy. There's work all over the country. I mean, there's all like now springtime turnarounds going on like crazy in the refineries all across the nation. You can always find work just for pipe. There's pipe everywhere. I mean, you go to the bathroom, everything runs through pipe. You can find work anywhere.
Someone asked what welding pays the most.
What welding pays the most? Pipelining pays really good. Rig welding. I guess I just have to say probably rig welding in general, running your own truck and being your own contractor. That pays the most.
Hudson Cook said, "What is your favorite memory from when you began welding?"
My favorite memory from when I began welding. That's a tough one. I had a lot of good memories. I'm starting to forget a lot of them. It's been welding so long. I would have to say, probably my very first weld I ever made in a plant. I was begging them to weld. They wasn't giving me any pipe. It was all structural. And my first weld was actually in a 10-inch pipe, Schedule 40, up in a pipe rack off an extension ladder. Yes, I butchered it, but I got the job done not knowing anything about man lifts or scaffolds. So that's probably my most favorite memory, is my very first weld on the job. Still remember it to the day.
Someone asked, when should I send my application because I think I'm going to graduate at 17 and a half.
So you're going to graduate at 17 and a half. You can go ahead and send in your application. You just have to be 18 before you end your time here with Western Welding Academy. That's just so we can make you employable. A lot of companies want you to be 18 to go to work.
Kev Shadow on YouTube said, "I am from South America. Can I apply?"
South America. I don't see why you couldn't if you went through all the proper steps and got the United States properly. I don't see why you couldn't apply.
Do we got another Rate My Weld that we can do?
We do.
What do we have?
Yeah. This one, someone came in and said, rate, he wanted you to rate his weld. This is him. What's his name? Rep Morton.
Rip Morton, what we got? Rip Morton, sorry. Doing a little stick, dual shield maybe. Some plate. It's looking pretty good. Get a little undercut on there. A little lag trap down there towards the bottom. Quite a bit of splatter. It looks like if we did a little bit more prep work on the base metal before you did some welding, that weld might turn out a little smoother. I am going to give you 7 out of 10.
Someone asked what all is included in the academy.
What all is included in the academy? So you get your list of tools. Each phase you go through, you get a lot amount of tools. I mean, the first day you come in here, you get a 5-gallon bucket full of stuff. You get your stinger, welding hood, nice auto darkening welding lens, welding jacket, not gloves, grinding wheels, wire wheels, all the things you need to weld for that phase. Then you just gain tools as you go from there, and you get the best instructors in the country.
Snow Savage on YouTube said, "Do you guys sell welding jackets?"
Do we sell welding jackets? We have some for sale for the students. If they end up burning one out and they want to buy a new one, we have some sell for students. We don't have any listed for sale on the website.
Bryce Cribb asked, can you bring your own stuff?
Bryce, yes, you can bring your own stuff if you want to. Like if you have a hood you prefer, gloves you like more than other gloves, feel free to bring them and use your own stuff, but you'll still get our stuff to use. So
Do we got another Rate My Weld?
We do.
Let's see it.
All right, so this one is, and again, one of those tough names. I believe it's Natalino. So, Natalino. Let me scroll in. Here is his weld. Looking for advice and rate.
Doing some fillet welds. Some 7018. Looking pretty good on that. I like how you're wrapping the corners nice. The only thing I can really pick out is if you could clean your weld a little bit better so we can see that bottom bead, and you have a little porosity right down there on the corner. You always got to take care of that stuff. Don't leave any porosity in there. So the porosity wasn't in there and it was brushed up, I would give that sucker about a 9, but being the way it is, give you a 7.5.
Someone asked, where do we send in our welding pics for Rate My Weld?
You send them to Western Welding Academy Instagram.
Are you a Lincoln or a Miller guy?
Am I a Lincoln or a Miller guy? Ooh. You know, I was always a hardcore Lincoln until I come here to the academy and start welding with a bunch of Millers. Electric machines, I'm going to have to say a Miller. I love the XMT 350s. But out in the field, I'm still a Lincoln guy. Still got my old SA200 short hood on my truck. So
Colton Zinn on YouTube said, is there auto darkening pancakes?
auto darkening pancakes. The pancakes themselves come without a lens. You have to put the lens of your choice in it. So you buy an auto darkening lens, you slip in there, you have your auto darkening pancake.
Aiden0822 on Instagram said, if I sign up for Welder 5, do I need to take 1 through 4 before or just Welder 5?
Aiden, if you sign up for Welder 5 is Welder 1 through 4. We just made it Welder 5 because it combines everything. So you'll be getting the Welder 1 through 4.
Let's Go Brandon 1738 on YouTube said, can I bring my dog with me? He's my helper.
Let's go, Brandon. We do not allow dogs on premises unless they are a service dog, and you have to have that dog with you. But other than that, we do not allow dogs.
Someone asked, how can I register to learn in Western Welding Academy?
How can you register to learn on Western Welding Academy? Well, you go to applytoweld.com and hit apply today, and it'll get your application started.
Do we got another Rate My Weld?
We do. This one's from Braden Corpix.
Braden Corpix.
There you go.
Braden, looks like you're doing some fillet welds also. The weld itself is looking pretty decent. You have a lot of splatter. Kind of same thing as the last one. Do a little bit better cleanup. Your final weld should be perfectly clean. There should be nothing to pick apart there. So, I mean, I'm pretty stickler on that cleanup. So I'm gonna give you a 7 on that weld there. Looks like we have a little slack trapped in along the sides of that weld also. So. We have 5 minutes to go on our live stream. So if you guys got any more welds you want me to check out, send them in.
Someone asked, where do we send our pics to for Rate My Weld?
You send them to Western Welding Academy on Instagram, and we'll grab them from there.
Connor Shay on YouTube said, where are you guys located at?
We are located in the great state of Wyoming, in Gillette, Wyoming, up in the northeast corner.
Colton Zen on YouTube said, if I don't know how to TIG weld, can I still apply?
If you don't know how to TIG weld, can you still apply? Well, that's the main reason you want to apply to a welding school, so you can learn how to weld. And we can definitely get you to doing some TIG welding for sure.
Do we got another Rate My Weld?
We do. This one is a longer name. Isaac Ornament Metal.
Isaac Ornament. Isaac. So there's not a whole lot of weld to rate. Looks like we're doing a little MIG welding. So you had to join your plate together so you could keep cutting out your ornaments. Looking pretty good. Pretty wide weed there. I would just for how wide it is, I would give that weld right there about an 8.
What's your favorite form of welding?
My favorite form of welding, I really like TIG welding. I don't know why, I really love it.
Roper Shell asked, I'm a freshman and I want to go to your school. Got any tips for stick welding?
Any tips for stick welding? Well, I guess the first one is just you have to ABC, always be comfortable, get braced up where you're nice and steady, and keep that consistent rod feed and a consistent speed, and then it'll go from there. Then you can just have to work on your amperages.
Alrighty, Matthew on YouTube. Now, I'm not a welder, so if I mess this up, don't make fun of me. Tell me what's the best way to pass a 6G 6-inch 6010 all the way out weld test.
6Gs, 6-inch, 6010 all the way out. You know, I've only had to take one of those in my career, and it was a 6010 root uphill and 6010 down. So 6010 is not designed to be a filling or capping rod, so it bug holes on you quite a bit, but it's definitely doable. So just have to watch your heats and keep her clean. We have 2 minutes to go.
Got the last Rate My Weld right here.
Last Rate My Weld. Who's the lucky person today?
His name is
Scotty. Scotty who?
I don't know. Just Scotty.
Oh. Scotty, that is a good looking weld there. Beautiful color. I think probably on about a 2-inch TIG stainless out. Man, Scotty, I have to say that sucker there, being in position, that is probably a 10 right there. That's a nice looking weld, Scotty. Good job. All right, guys, that's it for today's live show. Hopefully I answered your questions and we got to do some Rate My Welds. So hopefully we'll see you guys on the next weld.